We've all held one, right? A school textbook. You probably think of homework, exams, maybe doodling in the margins. But what if a textbook is actually a blueprint, a carefully designed plan to shape not just what you know, but how you think? Well, today we're going to tear one apart and find out. So, this is the book we're going to look at, Flamingo. Now, on the surface, it looks like any other English textbook for 12th graders in India. But trust me, hidden inside these pages is a pretty specific mission, a whole philosophy about what education should really be. Here's our game plan. First, we're going to uncover the mission that's driving this whole book. Then, we'll check out the stories they picked from all over the world to make that mission happen. We'll even zoom in on one chapter to see it in action. And finally, we'll talk about why this whole approach to learning really matters. All right, so first up, what is this book even trying to do? To get that, we have to look at the foreword. That's where it lays out the big problem it's trying to solve. Okay, so this is the big idea, the core principle. It's all about smashing down the walls between what you learn in the classroom and, actual life. The goal is to get away from just bookish learning and move towards something where students are actually building meaning for themselves, not just having it dictated to them. And the number one enemy it's designed to fight? Rote learning. You know the drill, right? Memorizing a bunch of facts just long enough to pass a test, and then, poof, they're gone. This textbook is basically designed as an antidote to that, trying to shift the focus from just memorizing to actually understanding. And boom, there it is, spelled out right on the page. This isn't just about teaching English, it's about rewiring the way students learn. It's a huge philosophical shift away from just repeating things and toward building real curiosity and critical thinking. Which leads to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? If you throw out the old model of just memorizing stuff, what do you replace it with? What's the new game plan? Let's look at the content and see this blueprint in action. Well, the answer is actually in the stories they chose. And believe me, this selection is super intentional. It serves a much bigger purpose than just teaching a few new vocabulary words. So the goal here is crystal clear. Bust students out of their own little world. The idea is to build a global mindset by showing them a whole range of different human experiences. Okay, and check this out, because this is where you can really see the strategy in play. You've got a French story about national identity. Then you jump to an American's personal journey of conquering fear. And then you have poetry from both India and the US that tackles everything from family dynamics to feminism. It's like a curated world tour of big ideas. And get a load of the topics they're diving into. This is not lightweight reading. This curriculum is built to make students think about complex, real-world stuff. Poverty, injustice, social divides. This right here, this is how you connect school life to the real world. So, it's a great theory, but does it actually work in practice? I mean, can one single story really do all of that heavy lifting? Let's zoom in on the very first chapter and find out. All right. Let's dive into the very first story in the book. It's called The Last Lesson, and it's basically our case study for seeing how this whole educational blueprint works, from page 1. So, to get this story, you need a little bit of context. We're talking about the Franco-Prussian War, way back in the 1870s. The region of Alsace-Lorraine in France has just been occupied by Prussian forces, and a new order has just come down from Berlin. And we experience all of this through the eyes of this kid, Franz. He's just a normal student, He's running late for school, he hasn't done his homework, he's worried he's going to get in trouble. It's a feeling we can all relate to, right? And that's the hook. But then he walks into class, and his teacher, Monsieur Hamel, just drops this absolute bombshell. The occupiers have banned the French language from being taught. This is it, their very last lesson in their own language. An ordinary school day just turned into this moment of huge personal and national loss. And this is the line that just hits you. This is the core of it. The teacher tells his students that their language isn't just a bunch of words and grammar rules. It's the key to their identity. It's the key to their freedom. In just one story, this book connects language to history, politics, and who you are as a person. Okay, so let's pull back for a second. What does this one story inside this one textbook really tell us about the whole point of education? The big takeaway is this. A textbook like this isn't just a pile of paper with stories on it. It's a tool. It's an engine that's been engineered with a very clear purpose, to build a certain kind of student, and really a certain kind of citizen, one who's ready for a complicated, connected world.
So you can really see the four-step blueprint here, can't you? First, you hook them emotionally, make them feel something, like Franz's regret. Step 2, you use that feeling to connect them to big, real-world ideas. Then you broaden their horizons with voices from all over. And the end game? To help shape people who can think for themselves and understand others.
So it kind of makes you think, doesn't it? Forget the tests, forget the grades. What's that one lesson from your own school days that really stuck with you? You know, the one that, like, the last lesson kind of unlocked a whole new way of looking at the world?